So I mentioned Locked On Cowboys. Those are my guys over there, but I also want to throw a shout out to my guy, Rylan Stiles, the phenomenal Rylan Stiles over at Locked On Thunder, covering all the Oklahoma City Thunder stuff every single day here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Go check it out. If you're a Thunder fan, you're going to love his analysis of the free agent moves that they've made, the draft picks that they've had, and getting that team ready to go contend for another deep run in the NBA playoffs next year. Jeremiah Criddell coming back to Oklahoma as an assistant defensive backs coach. Love this addition. Love that he's going to be working with Jay Valai, who seems to have a rocket strapped to his back right now as Oklahoma's co-defensive coordinator and cornerbacks coach. Dude's been recruiting like crazy, but this is a move that comes in the wake of the NCAA changing their rules about how many on-field coaches you're allowed. We discussed it several episodes ago that this is going to allow for Doug Deacon to be on the field and be on the field both with practice and in games, not just be in a quote unquote analyst role. Well, Jeremiah Criddell coming back with an assistant coach title, you get another on-field assistant that's going to be able to have an impact in practices, work with your guys, and then also have an impact in games with communication as Jay Valai potentially takes on more of the kind of co-defensive coordinator aspects of the game.
Yeah, and I like that. I think the thing that jumped out to me the most and what got me excited about this is that we're bringing back all the old players, right? The one thing we really didn't see with the old regime was a lot of the alum really being involved and hands-on. I was looking on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and I saw Caden Woolard's dad was kind of chatting with Gerald McCoy, and Gerald McCoy mentioned that he watched some of his films, says some things he needs to work on, but he's going to come into town and visit with him and kind of walk him through some things. Man, that just warms my heart to see the veterans making their return and wanting to be involved, because now they know that people want them involved, right? Like, this staff wants them there. They want them to be a part of it. I mean, Brent Venables coached majority of them. And so they want to bring those names back and tell them, hey, share some knowledge and teach down to some of the new players, right? These young players, and really help them to develop. That excites me, right? And so with Jeremiah coming back as a coach, I mean, he left to get his opportunity at USF, right? And then he went over to Mississippi State and then just randomly populated back. And it feels like he sees because Venables gave him this first opportunity to coach because that's when he medically retired because of his concussions. It shows that kids are gravitating to Venables and they want to come back and learn underneath him to go spread their wings and fly away somewhere bigger. I love that they are willing to accept him back like that, and you're seeing him work camps and all of that. That's the thing that jumped out to me the most. Not only is Jeremiah coming to work here, Coach Criddell's coming back, it's more so that this staff is embracing bringing back the old heads. I just love it.
Yeah, and they really are in a number of ways, and we're kind of running out of time here on Locked On Sooners, but this is a group that Curtis Lofton, I mean, he's not only bringing back former players from Oklahoma, but he's bringing back NFL vets that he played with. I mean, Ben Watson was on campus hanging out, talking to the players just about life and relationships and stuff like that. Like, it's just unique, and it's really cool that they're using their connections. And it's not just, hey, this is going to help build our brand as Oklahoma. No, it's really for the kids, and they're trying to they're just trying to help build these kids up from kids to men. And that's an awesome sight to see. Final thing we're going to touch on, and we might have to get in on this a little bit more in depth on our next episode, but Billy Bowman, Danny Stutsman in EA Sports College Football's Top 100. No surprises. I think if you were going to pick two players, it would be those two anchors of Oklahoma's defense.
Yeah, when I saw that, of course, the game drops next week, and so we're getting all the previews, in which shout out to EA Sports. They actually did something right on this.
Yep.
They did a really good job of pubbing this. Like, every other day or every day in each week, they had something come out, some videos, some details. And so they've done a really good job of keeping the hype going, because now everybody's going to lose their mind on Monday to play this game, right? Especially if you get it early. I hope most of you got it early, because it's going to be what everybody's going to lose their minds on. But Bowman comes in at a rating at 91. Bowman's at 90 and Stutsman comes in at 91. Both of them are men, Stutsman, Bowman, anyway. But looking at their ratings, it kind of shows you the respect that the people that do the ratings for the game have for what Oklahoma has to offer. Now, granted, we got two, probably the only two we were gonna get, because we still have a lot of questions as far as everything else on the team. But once those players are showing out, you'll see them populating this game. And the good thing is EA Sports is going to update ratings throughout the season based upon performances anyway. But we knew that this was going to be the two. If anybody was going to be on there, it's going to be this two. And I expect them to really show out every time someone leverages Oklahoma in their dynasty. Bowman needs to have at least 3 interceptions returned for a touchdown, just to make it true to life.
Yeah, just making true to life. And I think a guy like Nick Anderson has a chance to join that group. Deion Burks as well, if they have the seasons that everybody's kind of anticipating. Gavin Sawchuk, maybe a little sleeper choice to join the top 100. Sam Franklin, maybe. I mean, there's a lot of interesting options. I bet there's a lot of Sooners that are going to be kind of in that 85 range, give or take a few points on the overall. So it'll be fascinating to see what the ratings look like for the entire roster whenever it does drop next week. But we'll talk about it. We'll have reactions to the game when it comes out coming up next week on Locked On Sooners. So make sure